This book is about how to recruit the intelligence and purpose of people in the extraordinary task of inventing a future. How to strip away the burdens and complications the industrial economy inflicts, nurse the human ecology back to health, build local competence, and rediscover a sense of place.
The starting point for all of this was David's absolutely rock-solid analysis that you can't go on sustaining a growth-based economy on a finite planet. So rather than put that to one side, he developed a vision that said, ultimately, that core reality is going to come bearing down on us like a ton of bricks. And we need to get ready for that when it happens, whether it's through climate change or running out of resources, whatever it might be. We need to get ready, and we need to have as positive an approach to that as possible. And that means we need to draw far more on the inner resources of individuals in their own right and the way individuals come together in their communities to create a much more resilient culture that will then permit for very good lives, even lives that aren't supported by the frenzy of consumption-driven growth.
If someone's watching this film and they're trying to think, well, what can I do?
There's such a lot that people can do to make themselves less vulnerable to the seduction of a consumer-driven economy. There are just so many points at which one can say no to all the things that we know to be wrong in our economy, and yes to the right way of using a market-based economy. And actually, we tend to underestimate the extent to which that's already going on. The extraordinary extent of voluntarism in the UK, the millions, tens of millions of people who volunteer in one way or another to make life work better for other people, or the millions of carers we have. I mean, we're just so distracted at the moment by all the craziness around Brexit and so on that we tend to ignore the ways in which our society is already bound together in very complex, compassionate networks of mutual dependency. Mm-hmm. And when I look at that pattern of volunteering and people doing things for other people, it's not that we would be starting from a zero base. This is already an extraordinarily rich part of our lives that many, many people are contributing massively to already. Mm.
So strengthening those
Absolutely.
networks.
Yes, and clearly just doing the sensible stuff. You know, it never ceases to amaze me that someone says, it's all so controversial, all this kind of stuff about what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating, and so on, and I just don't know who to listen to, and it's, you know, so contradictory. And you say, okay, so is there one thing you think would make a difference? Is there one thing you think would make a difference? And of course, instantly they say, oh, I know I should be eating less meat. I say, okay, you know you should be eating less meat? Eat less bloody meat. And if you want to just start there, it's actually so easy just to stop eating beef. So easy. Really, you don't even have to be into this whole stuff about the degree to which the production and consumption of beef is much more onerous in environmental and climate terms than other forms of meat. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. You just find at the end of a month, you won't even have noticed.